Hello, back again with another review of another submachine gun of mine. This time, we're taking a look at my Elite Force VFC MP7 Aeg. This is the only, or I should say more or less the closest you can get to an Aeg MP7. And why I say closest is a lot of people refer to this as an automatic electric pistol, or AP, but honestly, it's really not. It is truly an AEG, in my opinion. And why some people say that is because the size of the gearbox is relatively small compared to most other gearboxes. So that, like, the cylinder in here is a smaller cylinder, at least in length. So it's just because of the shape, the size of the MP7 is so small. It's impossible, I should say, to fit a full-size gearbox in here. But this is the closest you can get to a full-sized, electric MP7. So, anyways, that's kind of a little tidbit. But it is a really lovely gun, in my opinion. I've used it 3 games, maybe 4, and both outdoor and indoor. And it has really proven itself to be a fantastic airsoft gun. Now, most people know that this is a very it's a very opinionated airsoft gun. It's had its fair share of troubles, well documented troubles, especially the version 1. The initial release back in 2018, I think, had a lot of problems with its durability, with its specifically its tappet plate would break. Oftentimes, people's hop-ups would become misaligned. There's a few different problems that the magazines, the followers would snap off. So that's actually still a problem. That can be still a problem with the version 2, which is what this is. It fixed a couple problems. The gearboxes would lock up, and what they did, they placed a small button right there. That button, you can push and it should decompress or unlock your gearbox, I believe. Never had the problem yet. Never had to use that. And additionally, it strengthened the tappet plate, because that was the primary problem that I see, at least, is the tappet plate would snap on these things. Almost all of the internals are proprietary, just due to the form factor of this MP7. The hop-up is accessed by pulling back the charging handle. The charging handle is not spring at tension, so you have to push the charging handle back in when you pull it back out, and you cannot pull it back in unless you hit the bolt release, which is right here. But we'll do that in a second. You can see the hole right there. There's a dial style hop-up, and it actually works very well. It doesn't hop anything heavier than 0.2s. Or my apologies, 0.25s. That's about the highest mine can hop. And of course, just hit the bolt catch, the bolt catch right there. Makes a nice click sound. So anyways, it doesn't like anything other than 0.25s, but with that said, this thing is the first or second most accurate gun in my arsenal. For sure the most accurate submachine gun. But in my arsenal, about 24 guns, it is first or second. With I usually use 2 3s. I know it's kind of an obscure weight, but it's a sweet spot between 2 5s and 2s that really works well for this particular gun. It really does. Its effective range is about 130 feet, so not super far. But its power is about 305 FPS, and it's very consistent with its power. It's a very consistent shooting gun, FPS wise. But 305 FPS is perfect. That's like 0.9 joules almost, maybe 0.8, somewhere in that realm. But that's perfect for what this thing is, for what you're using it as. It's extremely compact, obviously, and it's a really cool stock. There's a button on this side right there. You just hit that, stock comes out. 2 positions, if you want to use the full length, and then I usually use it in the first position. So it's a really comfortable, very comfortable gun, in my opinion, to shoulder. The grip is, of course, foldable. You can hold it like that. Kind of comfortable. It's very, I had the flashlight on there, so it's relatively very skinny. If you hold it like that, it's very skinny, like handguard. And if you hold it, it's kind of an awkward feeling front end, honestly, if you don't have the grip engaged. But I also sometimes hold it like that, and it's relatively comfortable. And that's actually where I have my pressure switch at, is right here, so I can activate my flashlight. Nice rail. Red dot. This kind of sight works really well. This height of a sight, I should say, just barely clears the iron sights. But you can use like a riser, like a T1 riser on there. It'll be just fine. There's two different kinds of iron sights it has. It comes with the iron sights, and you have pistol sights, and then you have rifle sights. So you flip them up like that. They're not spectacular, nothing special. They are adjustable for windage and elevation. It does not come with these side rails, which is unfortunate, as most people know, but they can be found for about $10, I think, on most retailers. So, and the magazines, like I was saying, the biggest problem, the magazines feed actually very well. I have no problems with that. But there's a follower that stops the gun from shooting once it's out, which is a cool feature, but you have to make sure you push down the follower before you insert it into the gun if it's an empty magazine. When there's BBs in it, there will be no problem. And then when you insert it into the magazine, into the gun, if I'll do it slow, you're going to first hear the follower engage, and then you have to push it just a tad more to actually secure the magazine. So if you listen, this is kind of how it will sound. As you can see there, you might have heard or picked up on the follower engaging, and then the magazine, push it just a little bit more, and then the magazine will be secure into the submachine gun. So like I said, it's extremely accurate. Is really its biggest upside, and also its fire rate is about 950 within a 7.4, the 15C 7.4. Which is spectacular for a 7.4 volt battery, in my opinion. With an 11-to-1, I think it's over 1,200 rounds a minute, not second. But it's very fast. Do not use an 11-to-1. That's how people break these things. This thing is designed for a 7.4 volt LiPo battery. A small brick type. We put it up in the front here. So do not, I repeat, do not use an 11-to-1 LiPo battery. You will break this thing. Yeah, do not use it. It is completely fine with a 7.4 LiPo. It has an amazing trigger response, a very good fire rate, extremely accurate. Range is adequate. FPS is adequate for what it is, you know. But yeah, my biggest gripe on this thing so far, I mean, if I didn't know about all the problems that this particular gun has, like other people have had well-documented problems, this thing is an excellent gun. I would know differently. I've only used it in a few games, so its durability has yet to be fully tested. But my biggest gripe is truly its battery compartment, which again, it's such a small gun. I mean, what else can you do? You can put an outside PEC box on if you wanted to, but small Tamiya, it's really how you get to it. You have to like push down on this front end, and there's no really like clear where or a place to push down on it. You just have to kind of just put pressure on it, and then it'll pop off, kind of wiggle it off. Be very careful not to wiggle it too hard off of this orange tip, because you can throw out your barrel. Like your barrel might come off if you do it hard enough, or if you drop it or something like that. That's another problem. People have the barrels, inner barrels, outer barrel will kind of misalign. So just be careful. Then it's relatively small. Once you get it in the battery in there, it's not super difficult. But that's basically my biggest gripe on this MP7. Which for small guns, that's a very typical gripe. A lot of these small submachine guns that are electric, it's hard to find a place to put the battery just because of their form factor. But with that said, this gun is an awesome gun. It's expensive though. It's $450 brand new. They don't often go on sale. Actually, at the time of this filming, I don't know a single retailer that still has these in stock. You can find them on Hop-Up and eBay still with relative ease, but just be wary, especially if you don't buy the version 1s if you can. Try to avoid those just because they're well documented problems. The version 2s seem to have less trouble, but still people are still having issues with them. I personally haven't had any issues yet, knock on wood. I do intend to use it this upcoming weekend, October 5th, 2024, an outdoor game. So if it breaks out or if it does well, I'll try to reply in a comment maybe how it does. I anticipate it to be pretty good. But yeah, this is probably I shouldn't say probably, this is my favorite submachine gun in my arsenal. My third favorite gun in my arsenal, behind the ACR and my Classic Army FAL. So yeah, it's really near and dear to me. Don't use it very much because I want to kind of preserve it as much as I can. And due to the fact that I believe it's discontinued now because I don't see it on any retailer. If you have one, hang on to it. It might be worth quite a bit of money maybe in 10 years or so, as these, I imagine, kind of will become a collector's piece. Funny because they didn't come out. They came out in 2018, and 6 years ago as of the time of this filming. And I think it's just plagued with too many problems that the VFC or Elite Force, whatever brand sells these, probably Elite Force, just probably decided to kind of scrap it, if you ask me, is my opinion. Because you really haven't heard a lot. You really haven't heard a lot about this gun in the last couple of years, and you can't find it brand new anymore. So, anyways, that's been my thoughts and feelings on my VFC MP7 Aeg. I hope I see more. I've only seen a few of these things in my life, other than mine, of course. So, a relatively rare gun to run. The gas blowback MP7s are relatively common, though. You find the KWAs and the VFC gas blowbacks. They're all over the place, actually. So, anyways, have a good one.